Wentz Financial Group presents Zips Basketball Weekly with John Groce. Investment management for your lifetime. Contributing sponsors include Summa Health, it's your health. Let's own it together. Bud Light, the world's famous light beer. Dilly Dilly. Doubletree by Hilton Akron Fairlawn, preferred hotel of Zips Athletics. By your Akron, Canton, Bryant heating and cooling dealers. And the Spaghetti Warehouse, famous for its 15-layer lasagna.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Zips Basketball Weekly with head coach John Groce, brought to you as always by the Wentz Financial Group. Well, Akron has won 4 out of their last 5 games, including that big win Friday night over arch rival Kent State. They're number 11 in the nation in defensive efficiency as we get set to welcome in the 23rd ranked team in the nation, Buffalo, on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Then over to Muncie, Indiana, Saturday afternoon to take on the Ball State Cardinals. That'll be a 2 o'clock game. Coach, we have a lot to talk about today, but I thought we'd start with that great crowd Friday night. What about the enthusiasm, the intensity? If you could bottle that up the entire season, we'd have something special, wouldn't we?
Oh, it was awesome. I said after the game, in the post-game, in the presser, that's what I envisioned it looking like. Because at the previous institution I was at in the MAC, a school south of here, whenever we would come in here and play, that's what it looked like. That's what it felt like. You just the environment was tremendous on Friday night. Can't thank our fans enough. We had a lot of alumni in town, former players back in the locker room after the game, the AK Rowdies, and all of our student body in general that turned out. The football team.
That's right.
Came out. I appreciate Tom and those guys supporting us, and it was just a terrific, terrific environment on Friday night.
I told you after the game, Coach, no surprise you played your best game with that type of atmosphere there.
Yeah, guys, obviously, for us, you know, if you're a player, that type of environment, you relish that. I mean, you love that challenge, the competition that night. It was a very good Kent State team, rivalry game. You know, it's why you go to college and play college basketball. So I thought our guys certainly were ready and focused and up to the challenge and delivered certainly one of our better performances of the year.
I know you weren't happy with the performance up at Toledo. We're going to talk about that right now. How about going back up to Savage Arena this past Tuesday night? The Zips against the Toledo Rockets. Highlights brought to you by Summa Health Systems, courtesy of ESPN. Coach, we talked about it after the game. Boy, Toledo's an outstanding team. They've won 20 in a row. That's a challenge on the road. It
is, and they're very good, obviously. But I was just more concerned about how we played, and I didn't like our energy. For the first time in a while, I just didn't feel like our energy, especially on the offensive end. The ball had no movement. Player movement was poor. Our assist numbers were low. I just thought we were really bad at that end, especially in the first half. Now, the second half, we made a run to take a 2-point lead with 5 and change and played much better against a very, very good team. But you can't do that against a quality team like Toledo, has 20-plus wins, leading the MAC West, and go into their place and only play 20 minutes of offense. So we had to learn from that rather quickly and get ready, obviously, for the Kent game that we played on Friday night.
You're coming off a great win down at Ohio, and I think you expected more from your basketball team, but you're down 29-20 at the half. They score the first 2 points of the second after down by 11. Then you go on a 16-0 run to take a 5-point lead.
Yeah, we stepped up. We've got obviously some competitive guys that take a lot of pride. You don't play defense the way we're defending right now unless you play with some effort and pride. Right now for us, and we've said it for a while now, it's about offensive execution and our precision on that end, our consistency on that end. We have improved over the last couple weeks. You know, Toledo first half certainly wasn't wasn't one of those good halves for us that we had here recently offensively.
I know I made a note during the game. I think it was 8:46 left in the game. The game is tied 40-40. You call a timeout, and you challenge your team to make some plays down the stretch.
Yeah, we did, and obviously had that 2-point lead with 5 and change. But, you know, part of it was just body language. You know, sometimes when I talk about body language, people ask me about that. Like, I called that timeout. I didn't like our body language. And, you know, a friend of mine said to me after the game, he said, look, when you took that timeout and it was 40-40, guys came off the floor towards the bench like you were down 40. And it was 40-40. You know, and so that was the energy that we were lacking that I think I saw as well throughout the course of the game too much. But we did fight back with some pride. Our guys are competitive. You see here it's a 50-48 game at the under 4. And we were right there, and unfortunately we didn't make enough plays down the stretch, and Jalen Sanford for Toledo did. He made several plays down the stretch, so give him and their team certainly a lot of credit.
You had some great looks in the last couple of minutes, just couldn't get the ball to go down for you.
Yeah, players make plays.
Yeah.
You know, Thad used to say that to me when I was with them quite often, and we've had some games here recently where our guys have made some big ones. You know, unfortunately, to close the Toledo game wasn't one of them.
Exactly. Zips lose that one, but they will bounce back on Friday night against Kent State. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, sometimes it's the student managers that are overlooked in a college basketball program. They're very important. We're going to come back and meet the student managers here at the University of Akron right after this.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie-cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
The University of Akron is more than a college or campus.
It's a connection to the community.
To the thousands of opportunities right here in Northeast Ohio.
And to the partnerships with employers and organizations.
Like the LeBron James Family Foundation, where we connect kids to life-changing possibilities.
It's the strength of UA, this city, and these connections.
It's where students make an impact on their community and in the world.
While still making an impact
in the classroom,
on the track,
in the boardroom,
and in my community.
That's what makes us the University of Akron.
Well, college basketball is a tough sport. It takes tough people to play it, and you got to have some tough student managers, right, Coach? How do you select these young men to be your student managers?
Well, we interview them, first of all.
Yeah.
We'll have, you know, a pool of them that are interested in doing it each year. You know, fortunately for us, we've had a lot of guys return from last year, and no different than as a player. Experience within the position certainly means something, and they work their tails off.
Do.
I mean, they really do, and they go above and beyond in a number of areas to help us function at the highest level. So can't thank them enough, and wouldn't be able to do it, quite honestly, without them. We have to have really, really good support staff, and fortunately for us, we've got some really good ones.
Right now, let's meet these young men that work so hard as student managers for our University of Akron basketball program.
So I'm in charge of managing our managers, so I kind of oversee the manager staff. I'm in charge of hiring them, in charge of their what they do on a daily basis, assigning them to duties, making sure that they're here on time, what time to come to practice, what they're supposed to do at practice. Anything that really they do for our program, I kind of oversee that aspect of it.
Being a manager is not as easy as people think it is. I mean, we got to be here for a lots amount of time, and I mean, it's fun sometimes, but sometimes the coach could get mad at you. But I mean, it's fun just being around the players and stuff like that. But mainly the focus is I do during games. I get the stats and bring them back to the coaches, and they'll read off of them like that. And then during practice, it's usually just wipe up sweat from the ground, or we have an extra basketball just in case the basketball goes wet, stuff like that.
During practice, we help run drills, like if they need somebody to pass, if they need somebody to rebound. You know, you got to get here, like you said, it's long hours, so sometimes you got to get here, you know, maybe an hour before practice because you know somebody's shooting around and they need somebody to rebound, so you got to, you know, just sacrifice sleep and come in and rebound for them.
It's definitely pretty intense. You know, it is Division I, so it's not taken lightly. There's a lot of, you know, things going on, so it's fast paced. You got to stay with it. You got to be engaged. But at the same time, you know, you're around something that you like to do, so it's a lot of fun. And you know, you just keep going at it and just embrace the grind.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. I agree with everything you said. I mean, it's a full-time grind. They work extremely hard in practice, and they put in that same work during the games. And like I'm learning like a lot from the coaches, and I'm getting like the experience of it.
I love the experience because growing up I was always playing a sport, and not having that opportunity anymore, this was like the next best thing. So like it's still like really team oriented, and it's like having another family on campus.
Next two on deck.
My experience here is I love it here. Really, it feels like a family. You know, these guys care about you. They ask how you're doing every day. They seem excited to see you every day. And working for a Division I basketball team, it's so much fun, but it's also so much work. But it's just what you guys do.
I mean, I can remember back in 2002, coming to games and watching Dan Hipsher coach, and then Coach Danbrough became the head coach, and watching Drew and Rome and those guys play, and then the Nate Linharts and the McKnight brothers and the Steve McNeeses and all those guys play, and the history of the program, and I kind of see it, the whole program built, and then to have the opportunity to come and work as a student manager, and then be a part of some championship teams. In 16, 17, we won the MAC championship and had the opportunity to participate in the NIT. The transition and my opportunity to being part of it for so long and being such an avid fan and come to all the games and then be a part of the actual team, and then now being a GA and being on staff has been an unreal opportunity. I just can't explain what it actually means to me.
Coach, there's been a lot of student managers throughout the country that have gone on to be either high school or college coaches. Even one pro coach, I think, was a student manager in Indiana years ago.
Yeah, it's becoming pretty prevalent.
Yeah.
It's a fertile ground for learning.
Sure.
Those guys get to be involved in so many different things: practice, travel. They get to see the operations side. They get to see the basketball side from a tactical perspective. They're in practice every day. So they see the practice plan and how it's put together every day. Those guys are involved in video.
Sure.
And helping Evan Baker, our video coordinator, with some of those things. So they get to touch a lot of different areas and gives them some very valuable experience. So naturally, I think, the byproduct of that is you see a lot of guys that are support staff members or student managers become coaches because of their love for the game.
Sure. Hope you enjoyed meeting those student managers. We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to rewatch that Kent State game for a little bit, watch all the big highlights. Big win over arch rival, the Golden Flashes. We'll back right after this.
Roman was born with a hole in his heart. But thanks to the experts at Summa, who found the problem and fixed it quickly, he's feeling 26 again. Not 76. Minimally invasive heart procedures, many performed in under 2 hours. Summa Health, vital for getting back in the game and more.
Sir Jeremy, you are a true friend of the crown. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Madam Susan, you are an even truer friend of the crown. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. What is that?
This is a spiced honey mead wine that I have really been into lately.
Please follow Sir Brad. He's going to give you a private tour of the Pit of Misery.
I'm sorry, what?
Pit of Misery. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
Here's to the friends you can always count on.
Okay, welcome back to Zips Basketball Weekly. If you attended the game against Kent State on Friday night, when you walked in, you could feel the buzz. Coach, just a special feel when Kent State comes to town.
Yeah, no question. It's a game, obviously, that's important to both institutions.
Yeah.
Northeast Ohio, it's awesome. Schools are 15 miles apart, and obviously, I believe it was the 151st edition of the game, and I thought we did a great job of honoring and respecting the rivalry, with our effort, thought our attitude, our actions, the way we played defensively, the way we played together. Certainly, we honored the great rivalry. It's a heck of a series, one that our guys look forward to participating in and competing in.
Let's go back to Rhodes Arena this past Friday night. Almost 4,300 fans in there, and most of them Zip fans as they come out and watch their basketball team get a big win. Highlights again by Summa Health Systems, courtesy of ESPN. Pretty much a defensive struggle in the first 20 minutes, Coach.
Yeah, I thought that obviously our defense carried us like it has oftentimes throughout the year in the first half, and then the second half we finally got our offense going in working in concert with our defense. But our defense right now, I hope people appreciate how hard these kids are playing and executing on that end of the floor. I woke up this morning and for the first time we're first in the league, and 29th in the country in defensive efficiency rating, and as you mentioned at the outset of the show, 11th in fewest points allowed. So we're really digging our heels in on that end of the floor. It gives you a chance every night. I think our offense is developing, although a little slower than what we'd like. The last 3 out of the last 4 games, I've really seen a lot of improvement on that end of the floor.
Boy, defense, rebounding, coach, all effort driven. They've got great effort on defense. Every game, I tell Steve French in the pregame, we know what we're going to get defensively. They're going to come out and be on that ball big time.
Yeah, we compete on the ball, and then our positioning off the ball and our guys' ability to absorb scouting right now in year 2. We got some really smart players. You know, Riak covers up everything at the rim. I think he's as good a defensive center and presence with what he does, all things considered, as anyone in our league at his position. Then Ivy was dynamic defensively on the ball against Walker, who's really an elite level scorer and talent, not only in our league, but nationally. So E-Man protects the rim. Dan's gotten better defensively. Guys really, really value it and put, really their identity on that end of the floor. And we've been able, through some offensive struggles, to not be front runners and to continue to defend. And that takes some maturity and takes some toughness. So give our guys credit.
Daniel Itomi hit a big 3 right at the end of the first half, coach. It gave you a little momentum, 31-30 lead. Then you call a timeout early in the second half. I think there's 17:36 left in the game. They're on a 4-0 run. That changed the whole game. They come out, your team came out and just blew it up in the second half.
Yeah, I wasn't very happy with the rebounding. And obviously, Kent State's a very good offensive rebounding team. They're athletic and they really pursue and compete for balls. But I just didn't feel like we were physical enough finishing possessions defensively, so that was the discussion at that particular timeout. And I thought our guys really answered the bell and came out and did a better job in that area. And then you see some clips here where the ball's just really moving, and got great player movement, ball movement, great unselfishness. Guys shared the ball and did some good things offensively, as I said earlier, to work in concert with our defense.
Boy, the lead went from 5 to 11 to 12 to 18, and the highlight was those 6 straight threes you made with about 6-7 minutes left to put it away.
Yeah, we've always known that if we take good ones, we can make shots and shoot the ball. Obviously it's taken us a little while to find that rhythm offensively and guys to work in synchronization, but I'm excited about what we can do and build on this moving forward. As long as we have humility and understand there's some things certainly that we've got to get better at still.
Lauren Christian Jackson with a great second half, coach. I think all 18 of his points came in the final 20 minutes.
Yeah, he shot the ball well, and I thought he took good shots and made good decisions, albeit a couple times. And when he does that and makes good decisions, he can be effective from a field goal percentage standpoint. Still trying to find that balance, I think. And obviously the second half, he was terrific with his shot making.
Tyler Cheese also chipped in with 15. Coach mentioned the great defensive effort by Jamond Ivy. He was playing tough, Coach, defensively.
No, he's playing like a fifth-year senior should play. I mean, he's really competed. This means something to him, and it's really neat to see him playing well here at the finish.
Great win for the fans, for all Zip fans over Kent State. We're going to come back, and we're going to announce our player awards for this past week right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes H-Jacks Plumbing and Heating. Find them at hjacks.com.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
Now it's time for Whose Stock is Rising, brought to you each week by the Wentz Financial Group. How about Lauren Christian Jackson, Coach? He continues to be a catalyst offensively and defensively.
Well, the second half in the Kent game, obviously, he came up big for us, and there's no question that his play at both ends of the floor, he's the front porch of our defense, and he's oftentimes the first guy that the opponent sees when we cross half court offensively. So, he's kind of that front porch guy, both ends of the floor. So the better he plays, obviously, that's a big deal for our team, and it was great to see him play well on Friday night against Kent.
He doesn't mind taking the big shot or having the ball in his hands in crucial times.
No, he doesn't. Coach's son has a great feel for the game, understands what we want and what we're trying to do.
Player of the week, how about Tyler Cheese? He continues to be one of the better juniors in the Mid-American Conference. 19 points in the loss at Toledo and came back with another good game against Kent State. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Boy, he filled up the stat sheet for you.
That's what Tyler does. I mean, he's really starting to find his groove. We said that not too long ago. I think this back half of the season, he's really started to get comfortable, making plays for us at both ends of the floor. You know, starts out the game in the Kent game with a charge, takes a charge right underneath the basket, and should have had another one. You know, so he's finding ways to impact the game at both ends of the floor and through a variety of areas on the stat sheet. He's really a complete player.
Congratulations to those 2 young men. We're going to take our final break. Come back. Boy, do the Zips have a challenge this week. Tuesday night, the number 23 team of the nation, Buffalo, comes to town. We're going to come back and talk about that challenge right after this.
The University of Akron is more than a college or campus.
It's a connection to the community.
To the thousands of opportunities right here in Northeast Ohio.
And to the partnerships with employers and organizations.
Like the LeBron James Family Foundation, where we connect kids to life-changing possibilities.
It's the strength of UA, this city, and these connections.
It's where students make an impact on their community and in the world.
While still making an impact
in the classroom,
on the track,
in the boardroom,
and in my community.
That's what makes us the University of Akron.
Roman was born with a hole in his heart. But thanks to the experts at Summa who found the problem and fixed it quickly, he's feeling 26 again. Not 76. Minimally invasive heart procedures, many performed in under 2 hours. Summa Health, vital for getting back in the game and more.
Well, the Zips with 2 more big games this week. Tuesday night at home against Buffalo, then Saturday afternoon over at Muncie, Indiana, 2 o'clock tip-off against Ball State. And, Coach, the big one, of course, is Tuesday night. Buffalo comes to town. They play with a certain toughness I don't see in a lot of other teams in the Mid-American Conference.
Yeah, great opportunity, obviously, for us. You don't very often get a chance to play a nationally ranked opponent at home. We get a chance to do that on Tuesday night, and deservedly so, the way they've played all year. They're older. They're really experienced. You know, they've got 2 or 3 guys that are probably in the running, quite honestly, for Player of the Year, in Massenberg, Harris, and Perkins.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great challenge. They're good defensively. They're second in the league by a smidgen, right behind us right now as of this morning. And offensively, they're number 1 in the league. They're top 30, both OER and DER. Terrific ball club, well-coached, physical, tough. You know, it'll be a great challenge. I know one our guys are looking forward to.
They've already won 20 games, Coach. They were behind at home against Central Michigan on Saturday, came back and won that one 83-76. They don't quit. They're going to keep coming at you.
No, they don't know any other way.
Yeah.
You know, they've really developed that within their culture. They really compete, you know, mentally and physically. They're tough, and they've got much older, experienced guys that have been there and seen a lot. So, you know, you're going to have to play for 40 minutes against them.
You've seen some outstanding Mid-American Conference teams. You had one in Ohio. How's this Buffalo group size up against some of the great teams you've seen in the MAC?
Well, I think as good as any.
Yeah.
You know, obviously in my 6 years, including both Ohio and Akron, I mean, I think their depth, their experience level, and they do a good job putting them in position to be successful. They're athletic. They're great in transition. They play both offense and defense equally well. And, you know, they're a very, very good basketball team.
Then you got to go over to Muncie, Indiana, Worthing Arena on Saturday at 2 o'clock against a Ball State team that's maybe playing their best basketball right now with a nice win over Northern Illinois. Got another win Saturday afternoon at Weston. They're playing well.
They are playing well, Joe, and they've been injured and banged up.
That's
so
right.
You knew it was only a matter of time before they got everybody back. They're also an older team that had played really well in non-conference, and it's a tough place to play. We had a double or triple or whatever overtime game it was over there last year. So, you know, we'll look forward to that when it gets here this weekend.
Coach, congratulations again on that big win over Kent State. Big win hopefully coming up this week. We're back next week with more University of Akron basketball. For head coach John Groce, I'm Joe Dunn. Always remember, go Zips.
Wentz Financial Group presents Zips Basketball Weekly with John Groce. Investment management for your lifetime. Contributing sponsors include Summa Health, it's your health. Let's own it together. Bud Light, the world's famous light beer. Dilly Dilly. Doubletree by Hilton Akron Fairlawn, preferred hotel of Zips Athletics. By your Akron, Canton, Bryant, heating and cooling dealers. and the Spaghetti Warehouse, famous for its 15-layer lasagna.